Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Nuclear Revenge. In today's episode, steal my money, take my house, put me into debt. Now it's time for me to ruin your life. Old fart gets his revenge. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Steal my money, take my house, put me into debt. Now it's time for me to ruin your life. My ex stole from me close to 90,000 euros, which I saved up for 9 years, and when I took her to court, I lost due to lack of evidence. At the moment, I felt destroyed and lost it all. She even sued me for emotional damages, and I had to pay 55,000 euros. So I was forced to sell my house and take a big loan from the bank. I stayed at a friend and helped me find some good lawyers. And we just found an amazing one. In one day he helped me so much and even helped me get the info of who took money from my bank account. Something was wrong. 29th of June a transaction happened in my name. I never made it, I was not in the country at the time. Well, would you look at that? I was ready to get back into court when I found out that she bought my house. Well, I have a safe that I never told her about hidden in the bathroom behind the cabinet. Well, she ruined my life, why not ruin her even more? So I had an accomplice that helped me buy some drugs, worth about 400 euros, and used a friend to hide it there. The safe has a 4-digit code, that being 0000, never got to change it to something else. And before taking her to court again, I had that same friend who hid the drugs turn her in. It took about a week for the cops to receive a mandate to search the house. They found nothing in the first 2 hours, and they wouldn't if my friend forgot to leave the safe cover open. That 400 euro worth of drugs are equal to a 5,000 euro fine and 12 years of prison. Well, I'm not done yet. Court time again. I had my lawyer get the footage from when the money from the bank was transferred, and also I had a document showing that I was not in the country at the time. We also found out the account to which the money was sent to. The name was that of my ex. Well, look how the tables have just turned. My lawyer also demanded payment for emotional damage, all the money that was stolen, the house, and also money equivalent to 2 times the debt I had in the bank, which is equal to about 140,000 euros. The look on her face when everything came down crashing on her was totally worth it. And on top of the 12 years from drug possession, she received an additional 25 years for theft and false testimony. Enjoy it. Old fart gets his revenge. This story was from my grandpa, who knew this guy when he was growing up in the 1960s. So we'll call this guy Henry. He was old as sh*t when this story took place. In New Mexico in the early 1960s, Henry owned a decent-sized ranch. Now Henry was a badass. In his younger days he fought in WW1 and was rumored to be a gunfighter in the last days of the Wild West. He was also rumored to be associated with the mafia in Chicago in the 1920s when he went to college. Henry had about 15 ranch hands and 3 sons. He had lots of cattle and land. His youngest son was in the army at this point in time, and the other 2 had other jobs. A lot of his ranch hands were black, and some were refugees fleeing racial violence in the East at that time. So one evening his guys were attacked and beaten up, and a couple of his cows were killed by unknown attackers, but it was pretty obvious it was the KKK. After assessing the situation, he couldn't really do much, and the police were useless, as the town police force was pretty much useless as it had like 2 guys. These attacks continued for a couple weeks. No one was beat up, but some cows were killed and fences and stuff were destroyed. Henry received a note saying that he had to get rid of all his black workers by the end of the week, or they were gonna burn down his ranch and kill everyone and everything. So he kinda said F***ck this and called his son, who just happened to be on leave. His son and a couple of his army buddies were on leave, and they pretty much had nothing else to do but come over. He was also really good friends with a biker gang in the area, who he probably helped hide bodies on his land. So they came over and helped him prepare. No, he didn't want the police involved as he was old and did things the old-fashioned way. So he sent a couple ranch hands over to town to get drunk and distract the police, and he would bail them out in the morning. Basically, it was two underpaid cops trying to contain the drunken madness in a bar in a small town in the middle of the NM desert. So one night the clan pulled up ready to trash the place. The remaining ranch hands were having a bonfire and seemed completely oblivious to their impending doom. They were strapped though. Henry had his son and his buddies and the bikers hidden in the barns and sheds ready to attack. When the KKK showed up, they had gasoline cans and some weapons. There were about 10 of them. Basically, it plays out that the cowboys all acted drunk until the bikers/soldiers showed up and surrounded the KKK, and then they pulled their guns out. Now, I never heard if anyone was killed or if he just gave them a good scare, but there hasn't been a single racial incident or animal murdered in that town since then. Also, Henry died a couple years later from cancer, probably cause he smoked and dipped for like 60 years, because it was healthy back then. Anyway, Grandpa was cool and knew a lot of badasses like Henry. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.